let's talk about it. So let's talk about spiritual psychosis. Now, this discussion is not meant to diagnose anybody. It's not meant to scare you either. It's just meant to bring language and compassion, because there are many that are scared they might be going through this, scared a loved one might be going through this, especially with this collective consciousness that's shifting at such a rapid pace right now. So, psychosis refers to a breakdown from consensual reality. Now, this is going to come across like possibly hallucinations, delusions, paranoia, disorganized thought. Now, I want to be very clear here. Not every psychotic episode is a spiritual awakening, and not every spiritual awakening is going to be a psychotic episode. But there is a very real middle ground where the soul is trying to emerge and the ego is collapsing under the weight of it. And that's what we're here to talk about. So, how does spiritual psychosis show up? Okay, well, it can start as a feeling of intense insight, divine downloads, synchronicities, the veil thinning. The person experiencing this may feel like they've woken up in a different version of reality altogether. Time starts feeling strange. Their dreams become prophetic. They may begin to speak about light beings, shadow entities, secret knowledge, divine missions. But here's the turning point. When these perceptions take over, okay, when they become grandiose, obsessive, paranoid, or just completely ungrounded, what began as an awakening can cross over into a crisis. They might start claiming that they're the Messiah, or that they're being targeted by dark forces. They might stop eating. They might stop sleeping. They might stop taking care of their body. Their speech may become erratic or prophetic in a way that no longer makes sense to anybody around them. They may reject all human relationships, convinced that only higher beings can understand them. They might isolate into a spiral. And this is the heartbreak. What may have started as a genuine spiritual opening can so often turn into a collapse of the sight, simply because there was no container for it. No support, no grounding, no guide. So how do we tell the difference? Difference lies in functionality and integration. See, a spiritual awakening, even in its intensity, tends to move you toward more clarity, okay? More compassion, more grounded awareness. You may feel overwhelmed at times, but you are still rooted in your humanity. You can reflect and you can hold nuance, okay? Spiritual psychosis, on the other hand, strips all that away. It floods the system so fully that there's no time to integrate what's coming through. You're on fire with visions, messages, energies, but there's no center to hold them down. And when there's no center, the mind tries to build one out of fantasy, fear, and delusion. Now, let's not ignore the timing. We are in a period of accelerated awakening. The veil is thinner than it has ever been. Timelines are collapsing. People are accessing lifelines, soul contracts, multidimensional truths, and they don't even always know what to do with the information they're getting. The body remembers things that the mind doesn't. The quantum field is alive, and right now it's really loud. So for sensitives, starseeds, trauma survivors, those already walking the path, it can be easy to confuse spiritual depth with psychological distress, or to fall into one while believing it's the other. So what do we do? If someone is in a state of spiritual psychosis, the first step is to not argue with their reality. Offer safety, offer grounding, offer containment. This is not the time for more rituals, for more channeling, for more third eye activation. It's time for water. It's time for salt. It's time for silence. Root vegetables, bare feet on the ground, breathing, rest, human presence. Sometimes psychiatric intervention is necessary. And that doesn't mean that's not a failure. Okay, that's not a bad thing. It's not a spiritual weakness if you need to ask for help. Okay? You can be having a genuine spiritual, mystical experience and still need maybe some medication or some therapy. Both can be true. There are therapists who understand the difference between delusion and revelation, who are trained in transpersonal psychology, and who know how to walk people back from the edge with grace. And for those of us who guide others, we must be wise enough to know when someone's not awakening, but fragmenting. So let me leave you with this, okay? Not everything mystical is madness. And not everything that feels divine is safe. There is a razor's edge between awakening and unraveling. And we must walk it with care, with compassion, and above all, discernment. We are not here to judge or to fear those who have fallen into crisis. We're here to hold space, understand the soul's struggle, and help rebuild the bridge between their spirit and their humanity. Because in the end, the goal of awakening is not to escape this world, but to fully inhabit it as a consciousness, whole and integrated being. Be kind to yourself.